Good evening. A 14-year-old Melbourne girl facing more than 100 charges has been let off scot-free because her lawyer says she's too young to understand the consequences of her actions. Police say she terrorised the Jewish community in Ripponlea and deliberately ran down a cyclist with a stolen car.
Mowed down on his bike, cyclist David is still recovering from a brain injury.
I spent a couple of days in Alfred. I was sort of left with a little bit of cognitive impairment.
2 months ago, he was riding on St Kilda Street, Brighton, and was slammed by a stolen car, the then 13-year-old girl allegedly behind the wheel.
I was just hunted down. They made a few attempts to knock me over and then, eventually just completely ran me over.
This was allegedly the same teenager too, caught on camera terrorising the Jewish community.
They were saying, yeah, you're Jews, you, go back to your country. Fair, I'm not from here. We're going to kill you all.
And driving erratically at Jewish pedestrians. Court evidence revealing she had searched on her phone, where do Jewish people live? The fact this teen is now back on the streets, seen as a frightening reflection of our society.
It speaks to a greater problem in society when you have people this young forming this level of hatred towards their Jewish friends and neighbours.
The girl's lawyer managed to convince Victoria Police prosecutors that there was too strong a case for the legal principle of Doli Incapax, meaning the accused was not mature enough to understand the consequences of her actions. The charges were withdrawn because the police prosecution was unable to rebut the legal presumption that a child aged 13 and under is incapable of committing a criminal offence.
Will you do anything about that legal threshold?
So I will do everything to toughen consequences for young offenders to deal with the new types of offending that we are seeing.
David says he's case in point.
I think with violent crimes like weaponising a vehicle and intentionally running someone over, it needs to be sort of taken away from that protection of the law.
Laura Turner, 7 News.
The only thing going down at Coles tonight is its reputation after the federal court found the supermarket giant lied to shoppers about phantom savings. Dodgy discounts were found in almost every aisle, with some items used as bait to con customers.
The Coles Down campaign.
There's great value, hands down, at Coles.
But today it was the supermarket giant that was down and out.
Coles Supermarkets Australia has made misleading or false representations.
Consumer watchdog, the ACCC, took Coles to court over 245 products, arguing the down sale price was often higher than the original price.
The ACCC alleged the discounts were illusory.
The court examined a basket of 14 down discounts, finding 13 of them fake, like Rexona deodorant, previously $5 a can, raised to $6.50 for a month, then dropped to $6 in a sham down sale, $1 more than the original price.
I think a lot of people have been feeling that this was happening. What we're hearing today is that that is true.
Justice Michael O'Brien ruling the discount was not genuine, the conduct was misleading.
The ACCC will seek a substantial penalty.
On top of its reputation being shredded and the share price tumbling more than 2% today, Coles is now braced for fines likely to be in the tens of millions of dollars.
With the finger of blame pointed firmly at Coles executives.
There has to be some head rolling at Coles.
Woolies, not in the clear, also in court on near identical charges, their decision due within weeks. And for Coles, is down, now dead?
That will be a commercial decision by Coles.
Chris Reason, 7 News.
Now to breaking news from Queensland, where up to 20 passengers have been injured in a serious bus crash. It's believed the bus rolled on the Bruce Highway near Airlie Beach just before 4 this afternoon. 3 people have sustained life-threatening injuries and a further 11 rushed to hospital. The age of the injured passengers isn't clear and the Bruce Highway remains closed in both directions. The 81-year-old woman hit by an out-of-control car at a Watsonia cafe is remarkably set to make a full recovery. She's been discharged from hospital and is resting at home tonight as her family calls on the council to install safety bollards.
An afternoon coffee that could so easily have been Barbara Fairman's last.
It's an absolute shame, so.
She's a lovely woman.
Yep.
The 81-year-old is now home from hospital. Her daughters say she has no broken bones but is bruised, sore and rattled. They've thanked all who came to her aid, as well as the staff at the Austin Hospital. Barbara's next-door neighbour, Tom Johnson, overcome with relief.
She's on her own and elderly person, but yeah, I do look after her. Always have since her husband passed away, so yep.
Lovely lady, she's a very nice lady. She came to our bakery all the time.
Mrs Fairman was out with her carer yesterday afternoon when the car ploughed through.
The carer got hit very hard and she got injuries.
Injury so serious, she's still recovering in the Royal Melbourne Hospital. Barbara's family are now calling for bollards to be installed here and anywhere else outdoor diners are exposed to traffic. These gutters, they say, are far too shallow and unsafe.
They aren't that deep, so you can see how if someone's just accidentally done something and they could go up over them quite easily.
Pretty horrendous up there when you with all the tables and chairs sitting out the front, but it's a bit scary.
Jacqueline Stanley, 7 News.
A fast-moving gym instructor has saved a shop in Reservoir from going up in flames. He was about to start a coaching session this morning when arsonists threw a rock through the skin clinic next door and set the business alight.
If they wouldn't have seen, this place wouldn't be completely on fire, and we would be closed as well because we were right next door. Luckily, it wasn't too bad.
Police are yet to make any arrests. Donald Trump has arrived in China on a history-making mission with hopes the communist powerhouse might help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign editor Hugh Whitfeld has more. And Hugh, there's a lot riding on this trip.
Mitch, there is, and it's not often Donald Trump is out to flatter another world leader, but Xi Jinping will likely have the president's measure. China is America's only real global rival, and there's a lot to talk about. Tech, Taiwan, trade, and of course, Tehran, and how China can help solve the global energy crisis, crippling economies like ours. China. Showcasing displays of discipline and enforced enthusiasm to welcome Donald Trump back to Beijing, where he is treated like an old friend, and he was impressed.
The military is obvious, it couldn't be better, but those children were amazing. It's an honor to be your friend, and the relationship between China and the USA is going to be better than ever before.
But it doesn't always feel that way. Inside the Great Hall of the People, a table of 24 men, the first of 2 days of talks where the Chinese leader gave America a warning. On Taiwan, Xi is reported to have called the island the most important issue in China-US relations. If it is not handled properly, he said, the two countries could collide or even come into conflict.